In our unconscious state, it's really easy to blame our parents, their lack of support, their inability to make us feel safe, the things that they do that make us feel undeserving or unwanted. And yet in our enlightened state, we're aware that we don't want to hold on to any grudges. We want love and affinity present in our lives. So how do we break free from blaming our parents? Let me take you on a process so that you can heal and forgive the relationship with your parents so that you are creating a fulfilled life. Hi, I'm Rosanne Clay, helping you deliberately create a life you love. Why do we want to heal this relationship with our parents and caregivers? What if they were really nasty and really awful to us and we really don't want to ever talk to them ever again? Well, if we heal these relationships with our primary caregivers and with our parents, then we get to live our life as evolved, enlightened human beings. And that in itself is something wonderful to strive for. Knowingly or unknowingly, we hold on to blame towards our parents for the dysfunction in our lives. But that blame causes us to stay stuck in certain patterns that really debilitate our lives. If you've listened to this channel a little bit, you'll know that there is subconscious programming due to the way that our parents and caregivers treated us when we were little. And so we're always able to point back and blame our parents for the decisions that we make. We currently tell our stories about our parents and about our youth as though it's factual, not realizing that we get to choose how our stories are told. We get to choose what parts of our history we get to focus on. When I first started my healing journey more than a decade ago and I began to understand my psyche and why I did the things I did, I used to think that the reason why I was a workaholic, why I wouldn't stop working, even when I was on maternity leave, I could not sit still, I could not relax, was because in my childhood, my mum had always programmed me to work. It was more important for me to do chores than to play. Play was interrupted by obligation. And so I had this programming that I was undeserving of relaxation time. I was undeserving of playtime. And yet when I did the tapping, did the inner child work and healed that relationship with play and with my mum, I remembered all these wonderful moments that hadn't existed before, which was the affection that she gave me and the amount of playtime that I actually had and the amount of fun I had playing. And my behaviors began to change. I began to relax a lot more. I began to play a lot more. I began to enjoy my life a lot more. This is not an isolated phenomenon. When people do inner child work and heal that relationship with their parents, months later, they begin to notice fonder memories, more positive memories start flowing in. And this is what I mean about the story that you tell yourself. So my old story was, I never got to play. I got punished if I was playing when I was supposed to be working. It was more valuable for me to work than to play. Whereas now my story is, Mum was so affectionate. I had so much time to play. I had an abundance of toys to play with. And the changing of that story means I feel comfortable and safe to express my downtime, my time doing nothing. So I want to take you on a visualization so that you can do this for yourself, so that you can do your own healing journey and heal the inner child and that relationship with your parents. So I want you to just take a deep breath right now and relax. And close your eyes and think about one issue you have. We don't want to bring everything in with just the one issue that you're having right now that is related to a childhood programming. And I want you to imagine yourself as that younger version of yourself that's having this issue. So it could be a 3-year-old, 6-year-old, 13-year-old self. And notice how they look in the picture and notice how they feel about their parents in this picture. Do they feel safe? Do they feel secure? Do they feel comfortable to express themselves? Is there love and affinity present between your inner child, that younger version of yourself, and the parents of that younger version of yourself? So not the parents that you have today, but the parents of that particular child. So notice that trio. And I know that you might have siblings that might also have been impacted by the caregivers or parents' behavior. But in this instance, it's just about your relationship with your parents and how they made you feel, whether you felt loved and accepted for who you are. Now, I want you to imagine that you bring in your current day self into that picture. And your current day self is able to approach the younger version of yourself and have a little bit of dialogue, introduce yourself as your future self, let them know that you're here to help them and support them and you have so much love for them. And if they allow it, give them a hug. I mean, if this is your first time doing this exercise, then maybe you need to build up that relationship, build up that trust between yourself and your younger version. But if trust is already present, you can, snuggle with that younger version of yourself and comfort them and let them know that they are safe, secure, and loved, and that you're there to protect them. Either way, keep giving them positive affirmations, feeding them with thoughts like, I love you, I'm here to support you, I'm here to look after you, I'm here to protect you, no one's going to hurt you anymore, I accept you just the way you are, you're free to be you, you're free to express yourself. And then what I want you to do is notice how your parents, the younger version parents, appear in that picture. How do they seem to you? Do they seem accepting of this child? And if not, what's holding them back? See if you can have some dialogue with them as your future self. Talk to them and see if they are willing to open their hearts up, open their minds up to the state of mind that they're in, and how the state of mind is possibly one where they're under duress. Perhaps they also had internal dialogue, internal programming from their youth that wasn't supportive and wasn't helpful. And perhaps you can have a dialogue with them that tells them, it's okay. It's okay that you were this way. I understand that you were also conditioned to be this way. And so you're journeying through and processing your parents' awareness of their behavior. You're helping them to open up and to awaken to the ways that they are behaving and possibly see that perhaps this wasn't the best behavior. Perhaps this wasn't the best way to treat this little child. And as you get present to your parents, what you might notice in that younger version of your parents is that they're actually open and willing to want to change. Even though it might be difficult for them and even though they might be quite fixed in their ways, in your visualization, they may want to change because remember, this is all just a projection of your subconscious mind. You're making up a story. It's all very fictional, but this is the story your subconscious mind has presented to you as a space of healing and a space that wants to be healed and wants to get better. So in this visualization, you will most likely find your parents want to know your words of wisdom, want to know what you have learned, and want to get to a space of love and affinity. And so what you want to do is start to ease them into it by saying things like, it's okay. It's okay that you were that way. You were doing things unconsciously. You unknowingly did this. And check in with them. Do you love this child? And often the parents and caregivers will say, yes, we do. We don't want to hurt this child. We love this child so much. And what you'll start to uncover and unravel through this story is that the parents' unconscious behaviors was a result of their environment. And when they are still and present and focusing on this child, they want this child to feel safe and secure. And so they are ready and willing to let go of their thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors that have programmed them and put them into the situation. And as you keep doing this, snuggle the inner child, snuggle the younger version of yourself, make them feel loved, tell them that they are safe and secure. Now, one of the easiest ways to shift your parents is to imagine that your parents are tapping on themselves as you have the dialogue with them. Because the tapping on themselves, for you, if you're already using tapping, especially, it's far more powerful, is a way of telling your subconscious mind, I'm changing this dialogue. And because I use tapping already to easily change dialogue, my parents, but this is your subconscious parents, are also using tapping to change their inner dialogue. what you want to get to is a space of love and peace and affinity between the parents and the younger child. You want the younger child feeling safe, feeling secure. And your future self is going to be the facilitator, kind of like an omnipresent figure that understands all the thoughts and feelings and wheels in motion with all these three souls that are in this picture. And then you're going to help bring healing and love to them. And one of the things that I also like to do is imagine a pink bubble that just wraps around these three. And this pink bubble is filled with compassion. And so it's already creating this positive energy into this picture, creating this healing for your subconscious mind, that although there was stress and although there was worry and although there was all this unnecessary programming, we're going to create some compassion and love for this picture. Now, when I've got that pink bubble and I can see that the parents are feeling good and the child is feeling good, then I take that pink bubble and I bring it into my heart. So I visualize that that is coming into my heart. And that's what you can do once you feel like you're in a safe space. But in the meantime, if you feel like it's not yet there, we're going to still close out this visualization. So leave them in the pink bubble. And your future self can say thank you to those three for participating in your healing journey and allowing you to talk to them and have this dialogue with them so that you get to heal yourself. And then your future self is going to send them into the past. And so you begin to get present in your body. Notice where you're sitting or standing. Notice how you feel in your body and send that visualization away to the past, knowing that it belongs in the past, not in your future, and is not going to impact your future. Knowing that whatever has happened, that it was in that picture, was for your own well-being and for your own betterment and your own upliftment. And all the pain of the past will be staying in the past. Okay, so you can open your eyes and feel free to just move your shoulders around, move your neck around, move your hands and fingers around, get back into your body. And this is a kind of self-hypnosis where you get to go uncover what the secrets of your subconscious mind are, because your subconscious mind works in images. And so this is a powerful way to unravel what is going on, what kind of programmings and thoughts are locked in there. And whatever dialogue came up with those younger version parents, whatever dialogue came up, you can use that as a tool to go, okay, this must be some of the programming that I didn't know was there, some of the unknowns, and use this whole sending compassion and love and light to that image and to that programming to reprogram, retrain your mind. I've said a lot, it is a lot to absorb, so you might want to listen to this a few times and go through that visualization a few times until you're comfortable with what you're doing and role-playing out this whole inner child healing. But that's kind of the general gist of it. It can be a little bit more complex, and if you go with someone who is able to do inner child work, they can take you on a much deeper journey and a much faster healing journey. So I invite you, as part of your healing journey, to reach out to someone who does do inner child work and get yourself a one-on-one session so that you can really understand how to use these sorts of tools on your own. Also, check out some of the videos that I've got because a lot of them, the tapping version does go into inner child work. I hope you find this useful on your healing journey. I personally have found healing my relationship with my mum, my dad, and creating affinity between them and the younger version of myself has been the most significant and powerful shifts in my psyche, which is why I encourage people to explore their inner child and their psyche. Sending you so much love and light on your journey. Bye for now.